Now at puirt-a-beul, like reels and jigs and so on, did they cover the wide range of tunes that were played by instruments?
Right. So I have a collection. I've been collecting them from the beginning, just documenting ones that I find, and I have several hundred in the collection now. The vast majority are strathspeys and reels. And so strathspeys are very distinctively Scottish and exist in Nova Scotia and Cape Breton as well, but they don't really exist in Ireland. So that's quite interesting because a lot of Gaelic song culture is shared between Ireland and Scotland, and certainly there's a lot of history of Gaelic traditions coming over to Scotland from Ireland, and in this case there really isn't that same sense because the strathspeys are distinctly Scottish. So the vast majority of the ones in the collection that I have are strathspeys and reels, but there's also a small number, a decent number of jigs and a very small number of marches. And so there are quite a variety of puirt-a-beul. It's not entirely clear what all of these different types are doing. So in Cape Breton, for example, to get back to your question about the step dance, the step dancing here is done to strathspeys and reels, but we don't tend to step dance to jigs or to marches. So what kind of dancing did those types of puirt-a-beul accompany? It's a bit of a question.
And in your book you use some very interesting words like diddling and so on. Some of these I hadn't even seen the words before, but
right. And so this is quite interesting because I think when we're talking about mouth music, there's kinds of different types of mouth music, and that's one of the things I write about in the book as well. And particularly in Gaelic and Celtic culture, we have quite a few different examples of mouth music. And so one form of mouth music is to actually just make up sounds, vocables, to imitate an instrumental tune. And those aren't real words. They're not words that have semantic meaning. It's just like in English when we say fa la la, for example. And that has its own term. So in Scotland, it's diddling. In Ireland, it's lilting. And in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, it's usually jigging. And there's other terms like it gets used called chin music in other parts of the Maritimes, for example. So there's quite a few different words, but they're basically people just making up vocables as they go. And puirt-a-beul is a little different because it does usually have real words. There's often no vocables in them, or if there are, they don't exist exclusively as vocables. So puirt-a-beul are a bit different. They have real words, real lyrics, and the lyrics, you have to know what the lyrics are and you sing those lyrics rather than kind of making something up as you go.